What's happening, everybody? Thank you for stopping in. So we got the 6-liter swap Silverado in the garage again. In my last video I talked about the transmission cooler and how we have an install kit. The install kit is from Glenn's Auto Performance, and if you guys have been on the channel for a while, you'll know that he supplied me with the throttle cable bracket for my Trailblazer SS, TBSS intake swap. Very good product, and he has a bolt-on bracket kit and hard lines to bypass the radiator. So that will be pretty much bolt-on instead of having to make your own brackets, fit them to the factory lines and everything. We're going to put this thing on and see how much cooler the transmission runs. Now I just said that we're going to bypass the radiator, and the reason you would do that is because your radiator really is never going to be cooler than 180, 190 degrees, so you're just cooling it with hot coolant. And the transmission, you don't want hot. So we're going to bypass it. I know that they have a kit or a thermostat sort of deal, or the cold weather bypass. So if it's, freezing in your area most of the year, then you probably want that. I might add that next winter. We're kind of out of winter now, so I don't have to worry about it. But for now, we're going to open the box up, see what it comes with, and then get to the install. For those of you wondering, this is what the TruCool 40K kit comes with. It comes with its own, fittings and whatnot, brackets, as if you're going to mount it somewhere, not OEM. Like if you don't have a bracket to mount it somewhere, you got to make your own. But we're not using any of that. Instructions, nope. Comes with its own hose in case you got to make something work. Don't need any of that. Now I have kind of opened this. I did not pull everything out. I'm just a little kid and I can't wait. So I opened it up to kind of see, but most everything is still in this packaging. So this is what you will get if you order the install kit from Glenn. It comes with the instructions, which is nice. A list of everything it comes with. Shows you the pressure and return port of a 4L60, 65, and 70E, along with the 4L80E. If you're like me and you're an idiot and can't read, this is great because it comes with pictures to kind of show you where everything is supposed to go and where he intended the kit to run. So here we go. These are the instructions for the install kit. The lines, so these are pre-made lines to bypass the factory radiator, like I said. So you have your PTFE line and AN fittings. So we're gonna take out the factory fittings and convert them to AN, which this comes with everything. This is the instructions for the brackets to mount the cooler to the truck. Now to the contents of the package. Just like with the throttle body, the throttle cable bracket, you got some stickers. I got twice as many stickers and twice as many pins. Awesome. And it looks like he included a t-shirt for me. LSX LTX Performance, Glenn's Auto Performance. Nice. I believe that's his truck on it. Yeah, that would make sense. And they are the Gildan whatever, however you pronounce it brand. I am fond of these t-shirts. They fit me well. And they're a high quality t-shirt. Next, get to this. Here's some of the hardware. And you have this awesome looking brushed aluminum bracket piece with his logo on it. That's going to be really cool. Hopefully you can see behind the grill, but if not, there's a new grill I'm going to be getting where I'm pretty sure you'll be able to see this from behind. Anyway, some more fittings. Here are the fittings to convert the fittings on the cooler to AN and the fittings on the transmission to AN. Some hose loop deals and the PTFE line. Here we are. So he already has the ends and everything put on for you, so there's nothing you have to do. This is pretty much bolt on, like I was saying. See if we can get these off. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is pull the grill off. I'm not going to film that, it's just going to take time. This install probably be a longer video, but there's other videos online on how to take a grill off of a Chevy. So let's get to work. Right off the bat, you can see the huge size difference. This is the factory cooler, which, like I said, runs through the factory radiator. There we go. To that, we're going to replace it with this. little bit of a size difference there. This is where we're at the moment. There's a couple bolts holding this guy on, a couple of those little push pins holding the bottom on. So I tried loosening these and they're very tight, and I figured just leave them. We can disconnect these from wherever they come from and just fish it all out in one piece. A good idea would be to put something down on the ground, because you're going to lose some training fluid. There's no way about it. Can't see that, but they hook into the transmission of the radiator right here. And like I said, we're getting rid of all the factory lines, everything. We're getting rid of it all. We're going to run our own lines all the way up here to the cooler. Now, I've thought about this for about 5 minutes now, thinking about how to get the fluid out of the lines. And what I've come up with is we're going to disconnect the lowest point on the hoses. That way we don't have a drip here, a drip here, a drip here, a drip here, all the way around. We're just going to have hopefully one spot. I mean, there'll still be some, residual fluid left, but what we're going to try and do is get most of whatever's going to come out of the factory cooler in the lines in one go. There's really no way around it. You're going to make a mess. Once we're done here, we're going to go to the car wash and wash everything up, but the way it sits right now, we've got all the factory lines out and everything. Pretty self-explanatory, straightforward. Just remove it. I ended up cutting the lines, not reusing them, and nobody wants to buy them. So everything is out right now. So right now we're going to actually start installing Glenn's parts. We'll start with the hose, we'll run it up, and then we will mount the cooler. Coming over here, these are the instructions we're going to be using for the hoses and the lines and everything. So these pieces are for the brackets, and these pieces are for this. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and read all the instructions and everything, see how to do it. Obviously, when you buy your own kit, you'll be able to look at it and see. But I'm going to go through, read it, and just show you guys how to do it. First things first, we're going to put these adapter fittings. These convert the transmission output and return whatever to AN fittings. It's very important to use these crush washers. It says in the instructions. The fitting is machined to center this washer in the middle, so don't let it sag. It's not going to fit right. You see it kind of snaps into place. We'll get those up there and tighten them down.
I know this is going to be hard to see. Here's the two. Pressure and return. Pressure is the bottom, return is the top.
We are on the passenger side, looking up by the right above the servo up here. There's 1 and 2. And you need to get those tight enough that it crushes that crush washer. Really no way to torque it, there's no room for a torque wrench, but you need to get it tight enough that it crushes it, but don't tighten it so much that you strip the threads out, because remember, that's aluminum. And yeah, it won't take much to strip those out, but it's kind of a touch and feel thing. Not too tight, but not too loose. Now, like I said before, these are pre-made. He's already cut these to length. One is longer than the other. One has a 90 degree and one has a 45 degree end. It says here that the 90 degree goes on the pressure side, which is the lower one, and the 45 degree goes on the top one. So it is important that you hook these up correctly, because one is shorter and longer, and one, different angles on the fittings. All right, back on the passenger side, we got the lines hooked up. You run through here, kind of get them to fit in the factory location. There's some deals that the hoses kind of clamp into, so use those. I went underneath the sway bar and the center link for your steering. Those little hose loop clamp deals will probably be drilled in to hold it to the frame. You can't really see anything, but at this point we've got the lines coming up here. Here's 1 and there's 2. So I think what we're gonna do now is we're gonna mount the cooler up, hook the lines up, and then see where they need to be drilled down to be out of the way of anything moving. So the first things we want to do is remove this factory cross member deal. It says keep the bolts, because I'm pretty sure we're going to be reusing them. This is easy enough. So that piece is getting replaced with this awesome piece I showed you guys earlier. And it says that if you have the factory power steering cooler option, which I do, you're going to need to use these little spacers right here. If you don't have it, you don't need to worry about it, but I do have it. So we're going to install those. So it sits off just a little bit. All right, slight bit of confusion. This does not use the spacers. This uses the factory 10mm bolts we took off. You will use the spacers between this and the cooler, so the cooler sits out past this power steering fluid cooler. So that's my bad, but easy fix. Alright, so per Glenn's instructions, if you notice these tabs I put on the top of them, the oblong side is not centered, so the thinner side, I guess, would go up, so they go in towards each other. And also you got to put these fittings in that convert the inverted flare to AN. Also, I just realized it'd probably be easier to not mount this up first, because you have access to these bolts with this on the cooler. So I think I'm gonna take this back off, start the bolts, and then we can put it on the truck. Now that we got it in here, you can see what I mean. That bolt right there, you can see daylight. Needs to be sitting away. So now, line up and get it where you like it. And it comes with these two self-tapping bolts, screws, whatever. And there's wham, bring it on home. Gosh dang it, that looks good. Yeah, hopefully that GAP shows right through the gap, no pun intended, shows right through the gap of the grill. That's gonna look good. And you know, some people might not like the the aluminum on the black. I think it looks cool. Now that we have this on, all we need to do is just hook up the AN lines. It seems like the longer one, which was the pressure side, fits on the driver's side, and the shorter one goes over here, which I guess makes sense because it's longer distance from the passenger side all the way over here. So now hook them up, and then we can find out where to mount the wires, or not wires, the hoses, so that they're out of the way of everything. All right, at this point we are ready to put the grill back on. I'm going to go ahead and keep my skid plate off. I took it off to get more access up under here. I'm going to go to the car wash and spray all this off, get all the ATF out of everything. But under here you can see, no, you can't. Hold on. I only used one of those little hose deals to hold this hose. Another one up here. For now we just have the two zip tie trick to hold them together. In Glenn's photos, he has some pretty slick looking hose clamps, like to hold them together side by side. So we'll get some of those underneath the steering. You want to hold it down away from that center link and the sway bars. You don't want it to rub and eventually get a hole in your hose. So since, you know, we took all the factory cooler and everything off, we definitely lost some fluid. So we're gonna have to fire it up, let it run, check the fluid, and then add some. Luckily, I have some. So if you're getting ready to do this, have some on hand. Well, it doesn't look like we have any leaks. Let's crawl up under there just to make sure. Those are good. See, the cool thing about this is there's only 2 spots that it could possibly leak, where it hooks to the trans cooler or up here at the transmission itself. It looks good to me. So now we can drive it around and see what temperature we get, and go to the car wash to clean all the residual fluid off. That looks so sick in there. There it is. The GoPro doesn't show it back here because the light's shining off of everything, but you can see it and it looks awesome. Now, a lot of you might be somewhat like me in the sense that you don't really read instructions. They're more like guidelines, kind of just guide you in the right direction. Glenn's instructions are awesome. I actually did read them. I went over them. Hold on, grease on the camera. But they're very detailed. Obviously, you can choose to route your wires or your hoses anywhere you would like. I pretty much put them in the same spot that Glenn said to, because, you know, he's the man. He's put a lot of time and effort into building this kit, and it shows. Gosh, that cooler is just massive. That is pretty damn cool. I'm not gonna lie. So this is where we are going to end this video. I will do a separate video going over, you know, the before and after the temperature with this huge cooler. But for this video, I wanted to show you how to install Glenn's kit for the TruCool 40K. It's a pretty damn good kit, if I do say so myself. I would like to give Glenn a huge shout out, so go over to Glenn's Auto Performance. Check him out on Facebook, Instagram, all under the same name. Again, I would like to give Glenn a huge thank you for getting this out to me. I very much appreciate working with you. So yeah, go check him out for all your performance needs. He's also big into the, you know, the LS Silverado game, I guess you would call it. He's got cams and everything. Go check his website out. He's got some pretty damn cool stuff. A lot of info there as well. And I'd like to thank all of you guys for stopping in and checking out my videos. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care, and I will see you guys next time.